Welcome, traveler, to Whispers of the Woods. Tonight's story is Thorn Marked, a tale of hidden power, ancient gods, and a rebellion that takes root where least expected. Settle in. The forest remembers everything. Elen had ink in her blood. Not metaphorically, literally. Born to the royal scribes of Thorn, she spent her days copying ancient tomes by candlelight. Words were sacred, tattoos even more so. In Thorn, every soldier, mage, and noble bore magical markings, each one a living contract with a spirit beast. Elen had no such marks. Scribes were meant to write, not fight. But one night, deep in the archive vault, she found a scroll that wasn't in the registry. One sealed in bone wax, locked in a drawer that shouldn't exist. It called to her. She opened it, and her life ended, or began. The moment the scroll unfurled, ink leapt from the parchment and branded her arm, a jagged spiral of thorns curling from her wrist to shoulder. The pain was blinding. She screamed. Then the voice came, "You are mine!" The room filled with vines. She awoke days later in the infirmary, chained to a bed. Royal mages circled her, whispering, afraid. The thorn mark hasn't appeared in centuries. She'll bring him back. We have to sever it. Elen was taken to the high marked court, the ruling elite of Thorn. There, the queen herself examined her tattoo, lips pale. "You've been bound," she said, "to the god we buried." Elen blinked. "What god?" The queen leaned in. "The one who nearly tore the world in half. They tried to burn it off, but the ink wouldn't fade. The mark fed on pain, growing deeper." Elen began to dream of roots crawling over mountains, of wings made of bark, of a god's voice whispering her name. She escaped the palace on the third night, guided by thorned vines bursting from the garden walls. In the forest beyond the city, she found the truth. Waiting for her inside an ancient, overgrown ruin was the god herself. She was vast, half-rooted in the ground, crowned in twisted antlers and moss, eyes like starless skies. "I am Nerith, the forest crown. Once I ruled this land, until your ancestors feared me, bound me, buried me. And now I wear your mark," Elen whispered. "Yes, because you read my name." Elen shook. "I didn't mean to. You called me. You awakened me. And now the kingdom will remember what it tried to forget." Back in Thorn, the queen declared Elen a traitor. Spirit-bound knights were unleashed to track her. But Elen was no longer alone. Nerith's power flowed through her now. She summoned walls of thorns to stop soldiers, vines to pull her across rivers, wild stags to carry her from ambushes. But the god's voice grew louder and darker. "Let me in. Give me form. Let me burn the kingdom to roots and ash." Elen resisted. "You want revenge? I want truth." But the line between the two was wearing thin. Elen returned to the capital disguised under a cloak of bark and shadow. She met with Joran, her childhood friend, a royal guard who had once taught her to read battle maps in secret. "I need help," she said. "I need to speak, to be heard." He nodded, led her to the throne room, told her she had allies, but it was a trap. The queen waited, the mages waited, the chains returned, and this time they brought the thornbrand cleaver, a blade forged to sever god bonds. As the blade was raised, Nerith screamed inside Elen's skull. "You were mine. Now I take everything." The palace floor split. Roots erupted. The throne shattered. Soldiers were flung like leaves. Elen stood as the thorn mark glowed like wildfire, her eyes flickering green and gold. She turned to Joran, betrayed and heartbroken. "You should have trusted me." He looked at her with fear. "You're not Elen anymore." "No," she said softly. "I'm more." The palace fell, but the city didn't burn. Elen took Nerith's power, but bent it to her will. She didn't destroy the kingdom. She rebuilt it. She tore down the tattoo cast, freed spirit beasts from forced bonds, restored balance to magic, and every spring, in the heart of the wildwood throne, thorns bloomed in a spiral across her arm, a reminder of the god she carried and the girl she used to be. If this story rooted itself in your imagination, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more legends, mysteries, and magic from Whispers of the Woods. Until we meet again, tread carefully where the wild things grow.